Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Monday, August 13th at 10:07 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. You're looking at the Holly Fire, which was set by an arsonist because he was pissed off at his neighbor. Now, this could be due to cosmic ray flux affecting his pituitary. His third eye might be blind. And that's a cosmic ray flux boom. No directed energy weapon here, just a VEI-3 forest fire exploding, called the Holly Fire. It's absolutely amazing to watch the intensity go in just seconds. Whew. Absolute insanity. Welcome to the new paradigm, where pissed off neighbors cool the earth. And that's a boom. Guys, check it out. I'll leave you links below. Let's get through the update. Rare mountain tornado touches down and tears it up in New Mexico. Yeah, they do. This has nothing to do with it. Tornadoes are rare in both New Mexico and the mountains. This one hit the state in 2015, but another touchdown at an unusually high elevation today. As if to prove they were going nowhere, police swirling spout reached down from the storm clouds over New Mexico in the Moreno Valley Thursday, ripping up the ground near the village of East Eagle Nest, which sits at over 8,000 feet in elevation and is surrounded by the high peaks of the Sangre de Cristo. Now, this tornado is amazing, and the footage, you should watch it and check out what they're saying there. It's totally cool. It almost resembles a water spout because it's such a small magnitude of tornado. But it is an amazing footage of things to come. Weather spotters on the scene reported golf ball size hail, down power lines, and at least one overturned mobile home. Isn't it always the mobile home that gets it? Firefighter dies battling the Mendocino Complex largest wildfire in California just hours ago, unfortunately. Bad news coming in. A firefighter died Monday battling the largest wildfire in recorded history in California, marking the latest fatality in a fire season that has taken a grim toll on first responders. The California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection said Monday evening that it is deeply saddened to report the death of a firefighter battling the Mendocino Complex fire. Not named so far. Authorities said fact-finding on the accident is underway. A series of firestorms that erupted across the state amid scorching heat and bone-dry conditions have taken a devastating toll on fire crews. If you want to know more, read the article. The threat of flooding continues across central and eastern portions of the U.S. Fire weather concerns continue out west. The threat for heavy rainfall and localized flash flooding will continue across portions of the Northeast. Check out your counties involved. Just click on them. While a slow-moving storm system will keep the threat for flooding across the central U.S. through midweek. Yeah, that's you, Oklahoma. And Arkansas, a.k.a. Arkansas. Across the west, elevated fire weather conditions wane. And those fires should be under control in a matter of weeks. Now, they will be burning throughout the summer and into the fall. However, the Watchers News Brief, August 13th, 2018. Check out the triple water spout. Going to be the cover of the episode tonight. Flash flood emergency declared in parts of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. It's also flooding up in Massachusetts in the last 48 hours with 5 to 7 inches in those regions. Here, National Weather Service and State College said numerous reports of 6 inches of rain or more in Schuylkill and Columbia counties. Brick, New Jersey declared a state of emergency, evacuated residents of a retirement community after in New Orleans we saw what happened to those poor people. In addition, Brick, Howell, Wall, Neptune, Lakewood townships were among the hardest hit. In Hancock, New York, Town Supervisor Jerry Vernold issued state of emergency after heavy rain created potential for the Bear Brook Road Dam to fail. Danish crop harvest to fail 40% due to drought. Denmark's harvest of wheat, barley, and rye could fail by 40%. We'll get to that on the crop losses. Heavy snow over Lesotho. These guys are stoked. That kid's smoking a blunt. Or his finger. Triple waterspout touchdown off Bleakley, Sweden. It's true. We'll open this image up just so we can all, what was that? Blow it up. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. At least 5 people injured after M5.0 hits China's Yunnan province. This was part of that flurry of 5.0s that kicked off during the huge, unprecedented northern Alaska earthquake we talked about yesterday. Eruption continues unabated at Indonesia's Anak Krakatau. You have to look at this footage. Some of the lava bombs are the size of buildings. Now, unfortunately, they said trucks, but they were underestimating the potential for this. This is the baby of Krakatoa. And now it's about to blow up. And on the 12th, and here's another epic eruption. Explosions like this were happening every 25 minutes or so for the entirety of our stay, says James Reynolds. Hundreds stranded after heavy rainfall, totally fluxed Himachal Pradesh, 5 buried under lava landslide in India. Record rainfall drenches San Angelo, Texas. Going back to 1951, which is another solar minimum. Very large hail reported in southwestern France, up to 4 inches. That could kill you. And we're at the 4 inches, the average for large hail worldwide now. And we're going to be kicking that up to 5 and 6 inches in the coming years. We have 2 more years up to descend into this minimum. Indonesia earthquake update, death toll crosses 430. Dozens work to save car dangling over sinkhole in China. Totally flux there. So is the guy who owns that car. Devastating floods leaves 22 people dead. Destroys 3,131 homes in Niger. I don't know how they got that count. It's so specific. There's that one again. Whew. Heavy rains totally flux. Subsequent floods fluxing. Other areas have fluxed the totally fluxed area of Niger. And that is fluxed. 1,107 cholera cases. 19 deaths. Totally fluxing Niger again. They're fluxed there. I would move. And on and on. Check it out. Thank you, watchers, for being so epic. Thank you for Scandinavia for being so epic. With such nice houses and such nice tornadoes. And that's tonight's first boom. Yes. Scandinavian tornado boom. Triple tornado boom. New Zealand food prices rise at fastest annual pace in 6 years as veg prices soar. This guy shaved his head and is so concerned he wears square frames. Look at the lips. Pouty much? Pink? Totally awesome. He's pissed. New Zealand food prices rose after the fastest annual pace in more than 6 years, according to this guy. Increasing expensive vegetables were made more scarce by the wet autumn weather. Whew. That's autumn, which is spring, which is summer, which is opposite of now, which is, God, wherever you live, you're confused. The chips are down in Belgium as heat wave hits supply of frites. These people are sharing a box with their beer. I wonder if they're going to beat each other up later and totally destroy their children's lives. Food vendors in Belgium are praying for rain as the hot weather threatens the food supply of the country's national dish, frites. Yes, it's true. They used to pay $25 a bushel, 25 euro. In 2017, now they're talking 250 to 300 per tonne. Are you done with the frite? Is that a boume? Would they be extra crispy? Oh, they'd be extra expensive. Totally. Yes. Are you prepared to pay $25 for French fries? Are you kidding me? Food security fears in Afghanistan due to drought. Here's that picture of wheat we continue to see again and again. Severe lack of rain and snow during the winter months has left much of Afghanistan with a scarcity of water. Without that, you can't drink or water crops or put out fires. And subsequently has decimated the winter harvest. The wheat harvest is likely to be the lowest since 2011. Let me check my map. Yeah, that was a solar minimum. While tens of thousands of sheep and goats have died as their pastures turn to dust bowls. Have you smoked a bowl? I don't think so. Knitted jumpers for lambs aren't just cute. Are you kidding me? Boom! They're saving lives. And this is because Al Gore told us it was going to warm up. But it's been cold in certain regions, especially according to the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. Now, granted, it's winter, but according to the bomb, it was going to be the warmest winter ever. But according to East Coast weather, it was going to be the coldest winter ever, and they nailed it. They still believe in global warming, but maybe their dreams are falling apart and they're shattered. And we'll still embrace them. We love them. Yas sheep farmer Rachel Allen has been hand-feeding sheep for more than 2 months to keep them alive through the drought, but now faces another problem: newborn lambs being rejected by their mothers because of the low feed. Not to mention the cold. Mrs. Allen says mothers rejected lambs more often in the drought so they could look after their own survival. Now, I've raised rats. They eat their babies. After losing 3 lambs to the cold, Mrs. Allen ordered 10 hand-knitted jumpers for her newborn, knitting them out last week. Look at these cuties. Is that a boom? I swear it is. We're going to enlarge it because it's worth it. Look at these cute little suckers. You can milk them and then you can eat them. But in the meantime, you can love them. Earthquake continues after strongest ever quake hits North Slope, Alaska. Guys, we delved into this, and I have some geologists that are in the know that have sent me some detailed information on what's going on up here. You're the first and only people in the world to get the truth, and it's coming to you soon. Are you prepared? The powers that be don't give up about you. They know about the increased nature of seismicity and volcanicity in this cosmic ray epoch we're entering. Now, they know about this, but yet they continue to extract natural resources from the earth. And they continue to deny it. They denied frack quakes in Oklahoma for a decade until they said, oh, yeah, you're right. We've got a 5.1 kicking off at Japan at 50 kilometers. No tsunami threat. We have a major quake in the mid-ocean ridge, 6.1 South Sandwich Islands down here near the Antarctica. We have other interesting quakes inland, including Manly Hot Springs 2.5. And let's get to the quakes up in Alaska. Let's get to them. Because we're about to expose the fraud that's happening up here in Anwar. This is Prudhoe Bay. Barrow's over here. This is Anwar. And this is where Donald Trump allowed multinational corporations to cause this seismic uptick. I'm not making shit up. I'm telling you the facts. Large-scale fracking came to the Arctic in a new Alaska oil boom. You can read about it here. You can see the map. You can see 10,002 area, and this is where the quake occurred. Now, there is zero geologic potential for earthquakes of this nature in this region. Do you know how I know? Because people on the inside sent me this information. Geologic Survey Professional Paper 857. This is the only Department of the Interior publication for this region, Diagenesis and Stratigraphy of the Lisborne Group limestones of the Saddleroy Mountains and adjacent areas northeast Alaska in this region. And I'm a stratigrapher. That's my specialty. There's not a lot of us. So do you think I understand what this paper says? Yes. And it says a lot of things. There's petrographic analysis, but most importantly, there's stratigraphy. Detailed stratigraphic analysis of this region. And this region is unique. And it's unique because it's very similar to Pennsylvania in that there is a limestone overburden unit protecting a shale unit like the Marcellus in PA that contains gigatons of natural gas. The same thing's happening here in Alaska, where there's a huge amount of natural gas and oil potential in this region right here. Look at the square in this paper in 1975. See figure 2. That's where the quake occurred. They're raping this area, polluting this area, injecting toxic wastewater deep into the area, and they caused this quake. Yes, those are the people that are telling you about global warming and everything's okay, and that CO2 is poison. What they're injecting into the subsurface here is poison, and it's causing earthquakes. Now, thankfully, in an area where there's no people, but they've been doing this for decades in Oklahoma and Arkansas and all along the New Madrid because they don't give up about you. What do you think's going to happen in the next 6 weeks? Maybe New Madrid will fault because they continue to inject wastewater deep on those faults. Now, here's the shale unit where the natural gas is right here, which is at a perfect depth for massive quantities. Now, what they might have done is they might have gone totally insane here, and they might have put gigantic wells at huge depths because there's no one there to watch them. And they might be injecting massive quantities of wastewater extremely deep because there's no one there to account for it. And you know what happens? Do you know what happens when they are allowed to do that? That's what happens. Right here at the 1002 area, right on the wilderness boundary where they're not allowed to drill in Anwar. I'll leave you links to all of this. It's been happening for decades. No one's spoken up. The sheeple are brainwashed. There's too much to watch on Netflix. No one could give about anything. That's why you're here. So as the empire fails, as geologic catastrophe confounds the experts, you heard it first here that it's predicted. It's happened in the past. It's not unique. These are not unprecedented things. We haven't even gotten into unprecedented territory. Check out the worldwide volcano news update. Barely anything's exploding. But it will be, and our sun is about to get unusually cold. And there are other people other than me saying this. It's producing less sunspots, less magnetism, less ultraviolet radiation, and the Earth is shutting the magnetosphere down, which is allowing more cosmic radiation in than ever before. Now, these idiots over at Warwick University looked at the last 5 solar cycles in the hopes to predict what's coming. How come they didn't look at the whole data set? These are the scientists being funded by you and your tax dollars. I don't get a penny. I already got shut out of the game because I wanted to tell you the truth. And they wanted global warming information. They didn't want the truth. They still don't want the truth. Now these are claiming that they looked at the last 5 solar cycles and that's going to help them predict the future. Well, their data set was a little short. Because here we only have 14 cycles. And that's too short. See, I've looked past the entire data set. Yeah, it goes back, the grain information goes back into the 1100s. And there's historical information that goes back 8,000 years. And as predicted, solar activity is rapidly declining into the next empire failing cycle. Global unrest, famine, wars ensue. Yeah, in 3 to 5 years. It's over, Johnny. The do's and don'ts of buying a homestead. Here are the basics. Come get them. Links will be below. Show more. Click them. Thank you, Eric Hoffer. Both the revolutionary and the creative individual are perpetual juveniles. You want to know why I act like I do? Because I'm a revolutionary and I'm a creative individual. I'm both. It's a catch-22. I cannot grow up, but I keep growing. You should too. Are you prepared for the future? Are you just sitting there, watching your show, biting your nails, and waiting for the next episode? I guarantee it will involve a major volcanic eruption and earthquake, and it will be really the life you live. And if you're not ready, you're totally fluxed. And that's a boom.